Let's Wonder by Onomonopia. Chapter 31. Let's Wonder. In Cockpit and Superman. Only the second hand ticking away created any sound within the principal's office. Every figure in the room was silent as the void. Diana sat, still in her Wonder Woman outfit, in the chair across from Celestia, a look of calm upon her face while Athena sat upon her shoulder. Celestia and Luna did not share the same look of calm as she did. The two of them had started to become accustomed to magical attacks on their school, but what they had just seen sinking them both to their cores. Not just what Zod had done to the students, but what Diana had done to Zod. 7 students were also in the room with the teachers, but only Sunset sat beside Diana. The other students stayed away as far from Diana as they could, while Dash avoided looking at the teacher at all. But each of the 7, save Sunset, wore the same expressions upon their faces, looks of fear absolute. So, Diana, goddess of war, Celestia finally said, breaking the near half-hour of silence. That's what you call yourself during that battle, if we can even call it that. I say it was more like Class of the Gods, Luna whispered with my hand to her head, still trying to process what she had just seen. Well, we now know that one of the Cabens was a god. It's entirely possible that the other was a god as well. Celestia said in a dark tone, as she gave Diana an unkind gaze. Diana kept her face motionless, and while she waited for her turn to speak, knowing as she tried to explain herself they would not listen. So let me ask Diana, if that is your real name, was that thing a god as well? No, not any god you would know of, but with his powers Zod might as well have been a god, Diana calmly replied. Celestia's eyes darkened at this, as she retreated into silence for a few minutes more. All that time you've been here, all that stuff you told us about being a teacher and wanting to help us, was it all a lie? Diana turned her head towards Rainbow Dash, was staring at Diana with a broken image. Personally, I think that would be something Applejack would say. I have not lied to any of you since I arrived here. Every word I have spoken is the truth, Diana said calmly, but her words did not quell any of the girl's fears. So, when you told me that me and my sister that a god sent you here, you were telling the truth? Luna asked, getting a no response. So all that stuff training with the Spartans, fighting with terrorists, being a keeper of the peace, you didn't mean ambassador, you meant as a god. Yes and no. I am an ambassador, from my home on the Amazons, Themyscira, Diana explained, but when she spoke the word Amazons, Celestia let out a sigh. And I do fight against the evils of this world, but as a hero, not as the god of war. In fact, I prefer not to use my godly side unless I am forced to, as I was with Zod. So you were that woman that killed the zombie thing that attacked us a while ago, Twilight deduced. The one with the helmet that made such a mess of people's cars. Always able to come up with the answers. You truly have a talent for knowledge, Diana praised. But instead of smiling, Twilight seemed to shrink under Diana's words. Why? It's strange hearing words of praise coming from the goddess of war, Twilight whispered, not sure if I should be grateful or afraid. That's actually how most of the students feel, Celestia said, turning her focus back on her. After the event, I've canceled school for the time being. The students will need time to recuperate. But Sunset, now I see why you were so intent on having Diana train you. You knew she was the goddess of war, didn't you? No, I mean, I knew she had powers. I saw that up close. But I didn't know she was a goddess, Sunset explained. But I told you after I drove my fist through your nightmare, Diana reminded Sunset. Honestly, I thought you were just saying that to impress me. Wait a minute. Nightmare? Lily interrupted. You mean that the nightmare Sunset has been actually attacked her? Yep. In fact, if Diana hadn't been there, it would have killed me, Sunset said in a whisper, getting a horrified gasp from the principals and girls. I suppose I should tell all of you. In my nightmares, this creature would constantly use my fears against me, breaking me down day in and day out. was getting close to the point where I was having dark thoughts. But Diana helped me with that. She gave me her lasso, which compels any who are touching it to only see and speak the truth. With it, I was able to fight against the dark lies that the nightmare was feeding me. I thought that was the end of it. Then it showed up in real life, attacking me on the day of our field trip. Lured me away from the group and planned to kill me in the middle of the forest. That's when Diana showed up, changed into the outfit that you see her in now, and beat the unholy hell out of the nightmare. Sunset said with a grateful smile to Diana. The smile Diana returned. You haven't seen anything from it since. But you're right, Celestia. I did start to hang out with Diana more after that fact. She's training me stronger and faster. And it's actually working. Wait a moment. You were going through all this plan and you did not once consult us? Renae asked, hurt by the lies. We could have helped you, dear. Done something to fight against that nightmare. I wanted to tell all of you, but I also didn't want to give away Diana's cover. Sunset said with an apologetic look. But not all of her friends gave a kind look in reply. The nightmare stopped me from thinking straight most of the time. So by the time I thought to tell you guys about being attacked, Diana had already dealt with it. With her looking over me, I felt like I didn't need to worry the rest of you. Ooh, nice attempt at filling in the plot holes, Ryer. I approve. And I'll still wish that you will have trusted us more, but I guess when you have a goddess looking out for you, you don't feel too worried. Applejack said with a smirk, before removing her hat, bowing slightly to Diana. Seems I was wrong about you. You're not the evil thing that I thought you were. Of course, this isn't much better, but thank you for saving our friend. Yes, but what I want to know is, where did Zod, did you say, come from? Why did he attack the students? It was clear he had a vendetta with you, Diana. I can't imagine why, but why go over that? Luna asked. Aside from Zod being one of the most evil beings that had ever lived, he was sent here by the very same god that sent me to your school, Diana revealed. The room went deathly silent again, and all eyes were on Diana. What I'm about to tell you should never leave these halls. Am I clear? Diana waited until everyone had nodded before she began to speak. Hades, who you should all know from my classes, killed a good friend of mine, and used his death to lure me into the underworld. Once there, he told me he would make a trade. He would restore my friend to life if I went to a strange world and gathered 6 magical forces he set for himself. Diana glanced at the girls as she said this. Realization sprung up in their eyes. Yes, the 6 elements that you possess. He wanted me to bring them, or their host, to him, and in exchange he would free my friend. But you didn't. No, and to gain me and all of you, know you, I could not let Hades get his hands upon your magic or you. So, I stay here as a teacher, doing my best to protect you from whatever forces he has sent while also teaching you. Diana said with a fire within her, a fire that nearly put everyone else in the room on edge. I hope he will eventually give up, as he is apt to do, but he's determined this time. I contacted my allies in the other world and asked for their help, but it seems like they had not much help in stopping him. What about the other gods? Fireside asked meekly. Like Zeus or Poseidon, shouldn't they be able to stop him? If Zeus or Poseidon had any brains within their skulls, many of the world's problems would have been solved years ago. Athena said with spite, dropping every jaw in the room. You're out. Talk. Yes, and please do try to be respectful. You're speaking to the true Athena. Athena said, So, that owl is actually another goddess? Twilight whispered in complete shock. Why didn't you tell me that? Sunset asked Diana, who gave a sly smile to her student. I half expect Twilight to immediately jump off that table and start going, I have so many questions. Because it was up to Athena whether she wanted to tell you or not. And to answer your question, Twilight, this is actually my familiar for this world. As I am needed on Diana's world, it would be unwise to leave Olympus without wisdom. I've been speaking to this owl the entire time we have been here, Athena explained. This explains why the owl showed up after the zombie attacked us, Rainbow said with a smirk. You sent her to keep an eye on us in case another creature showed up, didn't you? See what happens when you study and learn, Daz? You start to see the answers to problems that were all previously unsolvable. Diana praised. While this whole God thing is fascinating, that still leaves me with a question. Celestia spoke back up, bringing the talk back on track. You said that Hades is responsible for sending the zombie and Zod here, presumably so they would take the magic from the girls. What's stopping Hades from sending all the billions of souls that are dead after him till he finally succeeds? Well, at the moment, me. We have another plan in place. Sunset helped me with it. Using equestrian magic, we are forming a barrier around your world. A barrier that will be able to keep out all of Hades' forces. We found out that there's a magical barrier already around our world, one that was keeping Hades himself out. We figured if we strengthened it, none of his forces would be able to make it through. Sunset continued for Diana. Considering how desperate he seemed for the past couple of weeks, we think it's worth working. So, when this barrier is up, all worlds will be completely safe from Hades? Luna asked. As far as I know, yes. But I won't leave until I know for certain you are all safe, Diana promised them. But only Sunset seemed comforted by her teacher's words. Why? I don't like this, Celestia asked after a moment of silence. I don't like leaving the fate of my students, well, up to the gods. But whatever you said is true, since you've always been honest with us, and you're the reason that even with such godly foes we have had almost no casualties. I thank you for keeping all of us safe, Diana. Or shall we call you Wonder Woman? Or Goddess of War? Diana is fine. All three of those are the same person, after all. Diana said with a smile, before a look of concern covered her face. It won't be long before the barrier is complete. That means if Hades wants this magic, then we'll be making his most desperate play yet. If you seven wouldn't mind, I prefer you all stay together or in large groups until the barrier is finished. Yes, I suppose we could do that, Verity agreed. Looks like we're having a nice scene, Mother! Pinky exclaimed as she pulled all of her friends into a large hug. That sounds like a plan. Now, if you'll excuse me, my sister and I need to explain to the police what just the hell happened the other day. Luna said with exhaustion, because it seems that none of them want to believe a monster and a goddess duked it out with each other. With his help, I could fly by and show them you are telling the truth. But did you already know I was a goddess? Actually, none of them or the staff or students have added you. Think. It's their way of thanking you for saving them, Celestia theorized. Perhaps those on Crystal Prep aren't as bad as we thought. Don't you already know that? And speaking of Crystal Prep, now that I think about it, where are the Shadow Bolts? I mean, why aren't they going over and saying hi to Twilight? I mean, they're not evil and they're not wrong. They probably now also learn to care for Twilight, and it would be kind of nice if they actually had a scene or something. Even Senses remained quiet, but who knows what she has. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps the only true evil one is Hades. Flashes of light went off in the underworld, the only light that generated that was not under the command of its ruler. And from the light emerged a being in a brown cloak, with metallic limbs. A being Hades loved to see on a good day. After his most recent failure, though, he considered killing the being on the spot before it could speak. And behold, the mighty god has failed again. How tiring it must be to fail again and again, the being in the cloak said. He was sitting on his throne with a murderous look on his face. Your greatest soul, the most powerful being you held, indeed fell you. Seems you have no options left. Yeah, you're right. I hoped Zod would be powerful enough to kill Diana, but he failed. Hades growled before turning the growl to a sigh. Perhaps I should stop desiring this magic. There are plenty of other ways to increase my own power, and all this is done is just embarrass me. Perhaps it's time I stopped. Hades' rage was reunited when the cloaked being laughed in the weakest laugh possible, turning Hades' full attention on the being. There are the words I wish to hear. I wanted to hear the Almighty God give in before I offered my assistance. The being said before it walked beside Hades. I swear I saw a smile beneath the hood like a cosmos. Because now I am too invested to not see how this ends. So I'll aid you this once. When I'm done, either the girls will walk into their lair by themselves, or Diana's soul will be yours. Chapter 32. Nightmares. A knock on the door drew Diana's attention from all the new paperwork that had been dropped off on her desk, and to who had disturbed her. A smile creased her face when Sunset opened the door and entered the teacher's room. Diana motioned for her to sit, and placed the papers on the side as Sunset sat across the desk from her. Hello, Sunset. Is there something I can help you with? Diana asked. Sunset's response was to glance up at the clock before glancing around the empty room. It's time for class, but I'm the only student who is coming, aren't I? Sunset asked Diana, smiled with good humor reply. I do not blame them for not showing up. Most people, when finding out their teacher is a goddess, would not take the news well. Are you kidding? If I found out my teacher was a goddess, I'd be face foot in that door. Also, I know Twilight would. Twilight would definitely, especially Sideswipe, because she would have so many questions. Give them some time, and I'm sure some of them will make peace with the fact. Speaking of students, how are your friends doing? No attendance in the past week, I hope. No. So far, if Hayes has tried anything, we haven't seen any of it, Sunset explained, but her face showed that there was indeed news to tell. But that doesn't mean they're doing too well. Twilight, aside from me, is the only one of us that isn't too upset with your reveal. The others, Rarity and Fluttershy, don't really know what to think. Applejack is often lost in thought. Pinkie is Pinkie, and Dash still has that no. No, I will not degrade my friend like this. Arthur, Reader, could you please make me read a different line? You know what? Yeah, I'm that pissed off. Thank you. Delete. And Rainbow Dash wants to know when you could take her on as your student instead alongside me. She's probably bursting down the door right now. Oh, look, there she is. Sunset nods and walks away. Excuse me, I need to talk to Rainbow Dash. Sunset quickly opens the door. Rainbow, no. This is my fic, my story. I get to train with Diana alone. Come on, Rainbow Dash said, waving her hands. She's a freaking battle goddess. Let me train with her, please. No. And Sunset quickly slams the door, only to hear Rainbow Dash's muffled, at least tell her to introduce me to Multi! Zod nearly killed her. If I were her, I'd be banging down my door too, Diana said, but I'm glad you're all safe. Have you heard any news from Twilight in the other world on the speed of the barrier? Yes. She says that it's almost finished. Once she has the spell finished, she'll just send me some instructions on how to perform it, and the girls and I will cast it, Sunset said with a smile. Then none of us have to worry about Hades ever again. Indeed. Once you are all safe, I'll storm the underworld myself and make him regret ever having dared to attack the 7 of you, Diana promised Sunset, but she got a look that quickly spread across Sunset's face. You're not wishing me to leave, do you? No, it's just that I know you're needed back on your home world. After finding out you're a goddess, your absence has probably thrown some things out there out of whack, Sunset explained before her face fell as she glanced to the side. But I'm going to miss you. Miss our training sessions are just hanging on talking. You're my teacher. I like to think that you're my friend. Of course, my friend Sunset. And you are still my prized pupil, Diana said as she rose and walked over to Sunset, placing a hand on her shoulder, while giving the girl a confident smile. You have learned much from me, and shown yourself to be incredibly skilled. I have no doubt you will do a fine job of keeping this world safe, even after I had left it. If you believe in me that much, then certainly nothing I can't do. Just don't go ask me winning any obstacle races, Sunset choked, getting a smile out of Diana before glancing across her desk and seeing a sheet of paper that made her eyes widen. You're going to stop being a teacher? Yes, Sunset. I told you. Once the barrier is complete, you will no longer. But the barrier spell won't be complete for another week. But that recitation is for today, Sunset argued as she saw to her fate. You still have another week to teach us, to impart some of your knowledge upon us, and Sunset. Diana's told silence any further argument. But Sunset did glare to the side as he glanced at the floor. Sometimes I think it was a mistake for me to take on the role of teacher here. How many of you I put in danger because I brought Hayes' forces here? The battle with Zod, the desire to hurt all of you. Perhaps I should have kept my distance and simply held from the sidelines. You would have all been safer that way. No, I wouldn't be safer. I would be dead! Sunset screamed at Diana. I was taken aback by the sudden outburst of emotion. You remember what I was like when you first showed up? If you hadn't been here, you hadn't helped me when you did, then that nightmare would have been the death of me, one way or the other. And there's the other students you helped as well. Jasmine never had her grades that high until you gave her a kick in the pants. And we all saw it, right? We all saw how Rainbow Dash studied really, really hard. Didn't we? I mean, there's literally nothing that didn't say that Rainbow Dash didn't just use Twilight to just cheat. Nope. She won. She did it. She studied really, really hard. You all saw it. You all saw those scenes. When we helped her. Sunset then sighed. You're right. This has only been about me, and Rainbow Dash was just basically told to jump off its short pier. And if you hadn't taught me to fight, that Skull Knight would have dragged me into the depths of the underworld. Skull Knight? Well, as opposed to disfigure to turn to berserk, I might not be complaining as much. Might. But nothing I could do. You helped us so many times. But now you just want to quit? Sunset bellowed. She glared at Diana for a few moments afterwards, before the cool gaze of Diana was enough to bring her back to her senses. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. She apologized for sinking her head, walking towards the door. I can't help but notice that you left out Applejack Rarity and Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Twilight out of that conversation. Oh, what? You think they're important too? Well, yes. I mean, I would, and I thought you would. Oh, yeah, normally you would, but not this big version of me, apparently. I'm just going to ignore the others. Who cares about them? Diana's face softened as she walked over to the girl, gently wrapping her arms around Sunset and pulling her to a hug. I will not be gone forever, Sunset. Even with the barrier up, I will still be able to visit, Diana promised the girl. Even if I cannot, perhaps you can visit me. I can introduce you to my friends and allies, perhaps even the other gods, provided they're in a good mood and Zeus as far away from you as possible. It is not goodbye, though. Just farewell until next time. Yeah, you're right, Sunset agreed as she broke free of Diana's grip. It's been nice, though, being a student once again. And I don't mean like a school student, I know what you mean, Diana said before walking over to her desk and taking her resignation off of it. And I've truly enjoyed having you as my student. You have given me faith that there are those people out there who will listen to knowledge and reason, instead of just force. There are too many of those kind of people in the above worlds. Yeah, come on. I want to go with you when you turn it in, Sunset said. Diana nodded and the two left the room, to head for the principal's office. Neither of them spoke along the way, for Diana was too busy thinking about what Hayes' next move would be. All the while, Sunset could think about what life would be like without her teacher to guide her. Like it was before this all started. The end? But the two had made it past the front entrance before Diana was immediately on guard. This is bizarre, she said in a concerned tone. Even though no students are around, for the whole school to be completely empty, something is very wrong. Indeed it is, you fool. Come back to school, a voice said from all around them at once. A voice Diana knew all too well. There, you will find your present students and faculty. You'll also find your graves. Diana, that's the nightmare, Sunset said in a horrified whisper. From the expression on Diana's face, she knew it as well. Diana let her lips crack, before circling around her, transforming her into Wonder Woman. Diana grabbed hold of Sunset and rocketed out of school, circling around to the back, where both she and Sunset were stunned by what they saw. The entire student body and the teachers were all trapped in crystal-like spears. Spears that floated in the sky like shining balloons. But the two's attention were quickly drawn away from the trapped people to the cloaked being that stared up at them from the center of the track course, motioning for them to join him. When we land, stay behind me. Let me deal with him. Wonder Woman stretched Sunset as he started her descent. The pair landed, and Wonder Woman released Sunset, handing her sword to the girl before she advanced upon the nightmare. So you're back, are you? I see that hole I punched through your chest is healed nicely. Indeed, you did manage to gain an advantageous position over me the last time we conflicted, Nightmare agreed before glancing around at all the trapped people. But now you are under my control, my will. If you do not do as I say, then I'll bring about the deaths of all those around you. I prefer not to, as there is only two beings here I want dead. That's the both of you. Doubtful. How did you manage to get the drop on me? Diana demanded. I was with Sunset and Athena watching over the others. How did you... How indeed? The being asked before he held out his hand, revealing a bloodied owl that had been ripped to pieces. A god this creature is not. Don't worry. You shall both be joining it soon.
The prowl! You monster!
I hate to break it to you, but neither of us are dying today, Wonder Woman snarled as he walked towards the nightmare. But before I tear your head off your body, I'm going to give you a chance. Tell me what you are and what you're doing. What you are really doing. And perhaps I won't send you to Hades. As if that fool continued killing one of myself, but seeing as you'll soon be dead, I do not see any disadvantage into increasing what little knowledge you have. The nightmare sneered beneath its hood. I have no name. Some call me God. Some call me Architect. The annoying Silver One calls me Maestro. All of them are accurate. As for my purpose, is as I said. I wish to see what would happen if a person died in a world, if a person lived, if they never existed at all. Hey, Conquest. Yeah? Friend of yours? Nah. Too boring. Too sullen. Too serious. I know, you would have actually been having some fun with this. Are you kidding? Those crystal orbs, if it was me, those crystal orbs would be disco balls. And I'd probably be dancing next to Diana and mocking her. Have you seen what your world had never been if Superman never arrived on Earth? If he had been stuck to the black hole? It truly is fascinating. In some versions, you all die to the forces of evil. Actually, I have. It's called Justice League The Nail. It's a great story, and as a matter of fact, I think I'll go read it right now. You get back here! In others, you became the very evil you swore to fight. In one, Shazam took the mantle of Superman. Ooh, can I read that? And it was just as if Superman never existed. Now imagine all the other heroes and villains. Yes, I have seen many different ways your world could have played out, along with uncountable others. You're the reason for each of those changes, aren't you? Wonder Woman growled. You sent Superman to that black hole. You probably influenced the world so we would become villains. How many did you kill just to see what would happen? I stopped counting eons ago, Maestro answered. And no, I do not interfere all the time. Only when I must see an outcome would be played out. So this is what would happen in this world, if Sunset had died. He said as he turned his cloak towards Sunset, and pointed her blade at his chest. But you have ruined my dream. This world has been far too altered by your arrival. Now the way another world like this one appears, then I shall kill that Sunset. Then why don't you? Why do I what? Why don't you wait until that world appears and then kill her? What do you mean?
Well, you're an immortal god. Why are you wasting time hanging around here when you could just wait for a few more moments?
Well, it's because you insult me. You insulted me and ticked me off.
So, because we insulted you, you're going to waste your time getting revenge just to see what would happen if I had died months after I had any significant advantage? Why didn't you go after me during the incident in the comics that the author has been busy retconning out of existence?
Because it makes no sense, by the way, that's why.
You, you could have waited. Just waited a few hours, years, and bloop. I mean, you're an immortal. It's like a blink in the eye to you.
Conquest? Yeah, this is another reason why I'm not pals with Maestro.
The dude is so vindictive. I mean, come on. I would have waited. If the world suddenly became extra happy and floated out my grass, I would have just said, let bygones be bygones, had some fun in one of my billions of other worlds I've conquered, and waited it out. I don't need to just suddenly have it pop up.
Like hell you will! Wonder Woman roared as she clasped her bracelets together, sending crackles crackling between them. She then drew two blades of many of living lightning from her bracelets, swinging them each before she started to advance on Maestro.
Because today I am bringing you down.
Will you now? I would love to see you try. Struggle. Fail. Wonder Woman let out a roar as she lunged forward, plunging one of her blades into Maestro's chest. Annoyance flashed across her face when her foe phased out of reality, appearing behind her a second later. He fired a blast of shattered air to the air, but she managed to deflect in time with her bracelets. You cannot win this fight, Wonder Woman. Maestro informed her as he crossed his arms. Wonder Woman already was responding by swinging her swords over his head, but he ducked under to avoid being decapitated. I've already won. I'm simply allowing you to think that you have a chance of beating me, or crushing your hopes.
Really? Because all you're doing is dodging.
Wonder Woman roared as Maestro teleported away again, but this time Diana was ready for him. As he spun around and struck at her leg, catching Maestro right in the jaw when he phased back into reality. His head was snatched back by the force of the kick and was sent spiraling into the dirt. Wonder Woman was upon him in an instant, grabbed him by his coat before hoisting him up.
Just like that, the battle is over,
Wonder Woman said in a tone like ice, before bringing her sword back.
Now then, would you like to have a chance to pray before... Grrr!
Wonder Woman heard a cry of pain and spun around, glanced up at some of the crystal bubbles. It was a constricted runner around one of the students to the point it was crushing them.
Stop your magic, monster!
Diana roared as she looked her attention back to Maestro.
What do you mean?
What do you think I've been doing? A look of confusion crossed Diana's face. At a moment, it was Sunset who let out a gasp.
No, you don't mean...
Yes, I do. This magic, as you call it, is constantly trying to crush those within those spears. The only thing stopping them from doing so is my power. Maestro informed Wonder Woman, who gazed down at the beam of horror. So kill me. Destroy me. End me. If you do, there will be no one who can stop those from within being crushed. Wonder Woman sneered before she punched Maestro to the ground, and lost herself into the sky, driving her blade to the side of one of the spears. But to her amazement, the swords failed to even scratch the surface of one of the spears. Do you think that just because you could hurt this form, you could destroy my power? This form is weak. My power is unlimited. Now come back down here before I decide to kill all of them. With no current options, Diana descended down towards Maestro, knowing full well that he was smiling under his hood. Now,
I could force you to stand still and simply be killed by me, but I thought something even more fair. Even cruel.
Out with it, you bastard!
When the woman spoke, I'm going to have you fight a foe. A battle that will decide the fate of all those who are within those spears. Do not worry for their safety, because win or lose, I will free them. I do not want them dead, but know that the only way that this battle ends is with either you or your foe dead.
Are you trying to use my nobler side against me? Bring on your monsters or forces of evil. I will defeat them all, Wonder Woman said before pointing her blade at Maestro.
You are willing to kill them?
Good. Now let me introduce your opponent. Maestro then stepped off to the side, feeling the person that had been standing behind him. She had red and yellow hair, wore a black leather jacket, and was holding Diana's sword in her grasp. No! Wonder Woman whispered as both her and Sunset's eyes widened, a soul-sealing water pouring into both their souls as they realized what Maestro had done. You!
Yes, I do. The only way to save those precious students of yours is if you fight your student in combat.
In battle. To the death! You're a weenie! Oh god, who introduced conquest to this fic? Oh, me. Apparently, you see, the author always keeps me on standby, because I know just how much hate he fills up whenever he sees a bad fic. And whenever he sees a fic that is filled with hate, he tends to let me go, and I rein it in and proceed to have fun with it. You should have seen what I did to that Gundam and Sailor Moon crossover. Woo-wee, that was fun. Conquest, just get out of my way. I am busy here in this alternate universe. Do you mind? No, my love. I don't mind at all. Get out. Just get out. Okay, I'll be watching over here, rooting for you from the sidelines. Go Wonder Woman and Diana! I thought you said you were rooting for me. No. I said I was rooting for you. Conquest then pointed his finger at Diana and Sunset. I didn't say who I was writing for. Ah, the beauties of this being an audiobook. Right, audience? Click!